Welcome to another edition of Interruptions. I'm your host, Otis Smith. Today, I have a treat for all you guys. I have a queen of R&B, a beautiful
Mhm.
woman, a woman I grew up admiring and listening to her work. She brought you songs like Black Butterfly, Got to Be Free, Let's Hear It for the Boy. She is a iconic and a treasure to our community. I'm talking no other than the fabulous, the beautiful, the wonderful Deniece Williams. How you
Oh,
doing?
I am great, and thank you for such a warm and incredible introduction, too. Thank you. My pleasure to be here with you.
Yes, I appreciate the you coming on the show. I thank you for blessing us with your presence. I don't take it lightly. Um, you've done so much stuff. You know, you've been around for a long time, giving us great hits. We enjoyed your work. My first question is, you used to do some work, or Stevie Wonder was kind of like your mentor when
Yeah.
you first got into the business. What was that like, getting the chance to work with such an iconic and master musician?
It was just an incredible experience. I'd been watching since I was 10 years old, and he was 10 years old when he put
Okay.
out tips. And I'd watch him on the television and sing along with him, and clap your hands. And
Yeah.
fingertips. And I absolutely fell in love with him then and fell in love with the music. And then years later, my cousin John
Hmm.
come to visit his grandmother. His grandmother, my grandmother were sisters, and he kept telling me that he knew Stevie Wonder because he was from
Okay.
Detroit. And kept saying, Pinocchio, your nose is growing. Stop lying. Everybody from Detroit say they know Stevie, but as
Right.
it turned out, 6 years later, he was the one that got me the audition for Stevie to be in Wonder Love,
Oh,
and that's
wow.
how I got to the business with Stevie, and it was just incredible because, as I said, I'd grown up watching him on TV and singing
Uh-huh.
along with him, and here I am now. Singing with him as one of his background singers. It was
Right.
incredible. And I learned so much from being around him. I did not really realize that I was a songwriter until I got
Okay.
with.
Wow. I mean, that's because, I mean, think of that. That's just so amazing because you first coming into business and being able to, work with such a legend and iconic figure, with
Mhm.
that whole Motown sound. And
Yes.
so when you, let me ask you this question. This is a better question. What is the Deniece sound? Because you have like a real purity to your voice. You when I hear Black Butterfly, or especially um uh I Gotta Be Free, it's so clear and so beautiful and so elegant. What makes your sound?
I really can't explain that other than the fact that, beyond a shadow of a doubt, it's a God given gift
Right.
that he gave to me. I tell people a lot of times, I don't remember standing in line and said, I'll take that talent, I'll take that
Right.
voice. So it's given to me. And I think it when you hear me sing, you're also hearing my heart.
Okay.
And I think that that has a big part of what you're hearing. You're also hearing my heart. You're hearing my conviction, and hopefully, you're hearing my love for people.
That, you know what, you just explained it well. Hearing your heart, pouring everything that you pour into your music. What how did the song, because it's one of my favorite songs, and especially growing up, they always played it around King Holiday. What went into the song Black Butterfly? What went into that?
Well, I was in the studio with George Duke, and
Oh,
we were
wow.
on my new CD. I miss him so much. I
Yeah.
really miss George a lot. And so we were in the studio recording, and so he said, "Listen, somebody sent me this song, and I think it's a perfect song for you." And so he played it for me. And when I heard the words and I heard the message behind the music, I was so touched. And I said, we have to do this song. And there was no one else beside George Duke who could have produced that song and created an atmosphere for me to sing under. And I am just honored that even till this day, you know, especially with Black Lives Matter, that that's a song that still means so much to people, because our community as a Black people across the world have
Right.
suffered much. And yet to know that we have this incredible story of how we've overcome time after time after time after time. And that's what Black Butterfly meant to me. And that's why I wanted to sing it and relate that to other people.
Yeah, because I remember they always played it, like I said, around the King holiday. And then I remember being in high school, everybody had their own interpreted dance to it.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm serious. I used to hear every time someone, they're like, okay, she's going to come out and she's going to do a dance, and your song, Black Butterfly, would come on. I was like, is anybody going to use any different type of music? But it,
I'm
it
grateful.
yeah, I was going to say, and that's the key, making something classic. And I know when you go into doing a song, you don't know if it's going to be a classic. You hope it's going to be a hit, but you don't know if it's going to be a classic. And so, and it is. So, I thank you for that. Um, my next question for you is, how did it come about, far as the soundtrack? Because you was pretty much the let's hear it for the boy, that was
Yeah.
the soundtrack. What was the movie name?
Loose or Footloose.
Footloose. I wanted to say
Yeah.
Dancing, but Footloose. Yeah, and with Kevin Bacon, and that became you and Kenny Loggins. That you guys were like the soundtrack, for that movie. So how did that come about? Was that something that was just on your album and they wanted it, or it was specifically for that soundtrack?
I was in the studio with George Duke, and we had just recorded Black Butterfly. And we got
Okay.
a phone call from my management saying that Columbia Records was doing the soundtrack for this film. There was
Okay.
only one song left, but they wanted to know if I'd be interested in recording the song. So George and I said, yeah, sure, we'll go over and we'll listen. And so we went over to Dean Pitchford's house. It was written by Tom Snow and Dean Pitchford, and
Okay.
these two guys are on the piano, you know, and I have they on the piano and they playing this song, and they gave us the cassette of the song, and we walked out, and George Duke said, "We're not doing that song." I said, "Wait a minute, George, it's going to be in a movie. It's
Right.
I have to do this song." I said, and plus, I just read an article calling me one of the great balladeers of my time, and I know I could do a simple song.
Right.
George, we're not doing that song. So usually in my show, I tell people, the man is the head,
Okay.
but the woman is the neck. And she can turn that head any way she want to when she put her mind to it. So I stopped talking to George about the song. I went to his wife, Corrine.
Okay. Okay.
I went to Corrine. I said, Corrine, I want to do this song, and George won't do it. And I know it's going to be a hit. I feel it in my heart. I said, we should do this song. Corrine said, baby, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. About a week later, I was in the studio with George recording that song. And he
Uh
was so mad at me. He said, I'm going to work you hard. I'm going to make you sing. I said, okay, as long as we do the song, I don't care. And so we did do the song. And 15 million sales later, I tell George, he said, I still don't like the song. I said, well, good, then give me your check.
huh. Okay. Give me your cut.
Your check. Baby need shoes, and they wear big sizes at my house. I said, so just give me your check. I still don't like that song. It was the biggest song in both of our careers. So it was funny, but we did the song, and we didn't even really know where it was going to be in the film when we did it.
Sure.
And so when we went to the screening of the movie, and I saw that, Chris Penn danced to the song, it was like the payoff song when he learned to dance. I'm sitting
Right.
there,
Oh yeah.
I'm sitting there crying because I thought that was an incredible place for the song to be. But that's how that song came about. And it was, and still is the biggest song of my career.
That yeah, that I mean that ran for a long time. I
Oh,
remember it just kept, and then you know what was interesting about that song? A lot of people might have forgot if they weren't in that era. It showed up again on "Give Me a Break," because
mm,
on you remember the character, the youngest daughter, kept going
yeah.
around. Let's hear it for her because she had a boyfriend, and I was like, they still. I'm like, this song's still going. I mean
Oh, yeah.
it was a monster. It was a monster of a song.
It really was. And I think I was the only song that appeared in the second film of
Okay,
Footloose.
Footloose.
They did
Okay,
a second
did a
one. They did
remake.
a
Yeah,
remake, and my song was in the second one as well. So that, that's pretty awesome.
I hope you don't hear all this banging going around, having the little
I don't
work
hear
done.
nothing. Yeah, I just
Okay,
hear me.
but okay, that's good. I'm just making sure I have some floor work being done. But my next question for you is how because I always try to educate my audience. How was it for you in that era, that time frame? Everybody I've interviewed, I always wanted to ask how what was the vibe like? What was the the energy for that era like for you when you were in your prime? Just coming out, as a solo artist. What was the energy and the vibe for you like at that time?
It was just incredible because I'm a little church girl from Gary, Indiana, and good Christian girls did not sing secular music, so all of it was a shock to me. But just to be, it really was. But just to be around those people, to be traveling with Stevie Wonder, who
Right.
eventually was the opening act for the Rolling Stones, and to be out
Hmm.
there with them, for to be on the road with him when Rufus with Chaka Khan was the
Right.
open act, to work with Minnie Riperton, work with Tom Bell, to work with George Duke, to work with David Foster, all of these people. It was just so incredible. And the thing I liked about it much is there was so much musicality
Okay.
going around that you picked up on that energy of the music. And
Gotcha.
of course, you were dealing with the business, but you picked up the energy of the music. And that was just incredible. And I love the energy of that time, and working with Roberta Flack and touring with Roberta Flack.
Right.
Singing a song on with Wayne Shorter. Touring with
Hmm.
George Duke and Stanley Clark, working with Tom Bell. It was just an incredible time for me in my life in the music industry.
He doesn't
It was.
get mentioned a lot. Stanley Clark. Stanley is a bad dude. Stanley doesn't get mentioned a lot.
He does not, but I'm telling you, he is a bad, what the guy say? He's bad mother. Shut your
Your
mouth,
mouth.
There you go.
Yeah.
Stanley
Yeah.
Clark is bad.
Yeah. You know what? He was one of the first I noticed when you was talking about scoring in film, in music. I kept that
Yes.
name
Yeah.
kept popping up. Stanley Clark.
Yeah.
Who's Stanley Clark? I was like, who is Stanley Clark? And so I had to, research. And so yeah, he doesn't get mentioned a lot, but he's been on so much stuff.
That's right.
People need to recognize.
That's
Let me
true.
ask
That's
you,
very true.
how do you feel about music today? And let me give you a little context of why I'm asking this question. For me, one, I didn't know I had got old. My daughters had to let me know. I didn't know I had got old. And so it was one of those situations. I grew up in a time listening to your music, Earth, Wind, and Fire, stuff like that. And I only see a handful of people, maybe the group Jagged Edge, maybe Charlie Wilson, Kim, but only a few people bringing the love back to them to music. Uh, it's like the artists, they come out and they just trying to get to the sex part, right, of the
Mhm.
music, and there's no romance, there's no falling in love, there's no like dating. There's only, like I said, a handful of artists that I see. So from your perspective, from when you were in your prime, when you first came out, how do you feel about music today?
Well, there's so much of it that I have to admit I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
And basically for the reason that you spoke about, I'm very glad that a lot of the guys have stopped, calling us bitches.
That's the first thing.
you know um but when you look back at the Temptations, Ain't Too Proud to Beg, My Girl, you know the For Ain't No Woman Like the One I Got,
Right.
and all of those kind of songs, and the and You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman, and
Yes.
all of these love songs that we had for each other. I feel that our era was the era where you had nothing but love songs and love for each other, and respect for each other. You don't find that a lot in the music now. And I think that that's another reason why artists like Charlie Wilson and myself are still on the radio even today,
Right.
because we're promoting the love. And I'd like to see a lot of these artists get back to that, singing about the love between a man and a woman, and not always, this and
I know what you mean.
all the little gangster stuff. I'm sorry, I cannot support the gangster love. So that's where I am. It's a very interesting music industry now. It is not the model that I came
Hmm.
up and was successful under. It's changed quite a bit,
Okay.
and I'm still trying to learn it. And I'm like you, I only know about it through my children, through my sons. I have four
Right.
sons, and if it wasn't
Okay.
for them, I wouldn't do recognize the music industry at all. But because they keep me, try to keep me current, they get
Sure.
mad. Mom, didn't I just show you how to do that? Even with the Zoom. Mom, I said, I don't care. Come in here and set it up. Come in here and fix this and shut up.
Uh,
so,
that.
so it's a very different industry, very
Hmm.
different way these artists are approaching it. Some of the music I do like, and some of the music is good, but a lot of it, I don't relate to and I don't understand. But
Same
um,
here. I miss you. I miss the Anita Bakers of the world, the Angela
yeah,
Winbushes, the Evelyn Champagne King.
yeah,
Because what I tell my children now, one of my daughters, she's starting to listen. Both of my daughters listen to a lot of quote unquote, old school music.
hmm hmm
And what I try to get them to understand is that it's the romance. I said now Daddy grew up in the hip hop era. My generation, you know, rap was starting to come out. I say, but you could be listening to say like NWA and or Public Enemy, but when you went to pick your girlfriend up, you had to take that out. You had to take
that's
that out,
right.
and
Switch that up.
yeah, we switch that up. We
Yeah,
we we try, and so
I'm putting
now,
on something else.
yeah, yeah, and then as a what, and see, women, you all had, and you know this. I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but you all had set the standard because if a young lady like Deniece Williams, well, I gotta go buy some Deniece. I can't not have that. If
Yeah,
she likes Anita Baker, I have to have some Anita Baker. I cannot. You know what I mean? Like I can't be going around here and not have what I need. And so
that,
and so you all I always I used to say if all women came out and said we like men that drive Pintos, then every
hmm
man would go out
you
and
got
go
that
get a Pinto. And I
right.
said,
In every color.
in every color. I said, but you guys have let the you lost the balance. You lost
Yeah.
the balance
Yeah.
when you was talking about being the neck and all that. You know what's so funny? I had just heard that term yesterday. I had never heard that before until yesterday, and you came right back and said it. So that's amazing.
That's right.
So I hear you have a, new project, a new song releasing.
Well, the song that's out now is When You Love Somebody.
You and you love
And,
someone. Okay.
when you love somebody, and it talks about, what you do when you love somebody. You
Okay.
dance and romance. And the video is out now about when you love somebody. So
Okay.
that's exciting. And I am working on finishing my new project, which is called Gemini, which
Gemini. Okay.
hopefully will be out next year. So it's been amazing because for me, I like singing the love songs. I like singing songs
Okay.
that touch, the innermost part of you. I don't have time to. be negative about
Sure.
anything. And, living life and living with someone and loving someone is not an easy situation. But when you have love and then you have respect, we can make it. It
We can
works.
make it.
It works. That flame thing every now and then pops back up. Here you go. So it's about when you love someone, you represent them proudly and you love them and you dance and you cuddle and
Yes.
you do those things. So that's what my new song is about. And the project Gemini, I named it Gemini,
Mm-hmm.
uh, not only because I'm born on June 3rd, but
Okay.
also because it's a plethora of who I am as an artist. I've got jazz on it, I've got gospel on it, I've got R&B on it, I've got pop. You know, so it's actually a full picture of all of the music I love and all of the music I've been doing, and I'm excited about that.
How and I'm going to what is your website?
DeniceWilliams.com.
DenieceWilliams.com. I'm already following you on Instagram.
Okay,
So
cool.
I'm gonna make sure when I release this that I put your website up so everyone can go and see all the wonderful things and new things, projects and things that you're doing, so they can keep in touch
Oh, thank
uh,
you.
with you. I have just a couple of more questions.
Okay.
Um, how did it make you feel when Monica came back and kind of use the riff that you had and put it into her song and
Mhm.
paying homage to you? How did that make you feel?
Oh my God, I was so honored, and not only honored that Monica did it, I was honored that Missy Elliott produced it. I don't know if a lot
Yes,
of people know that Missy
yes.
Elliott produced this. So I'm looking at two women that I absolutely, absolutely respect and love. And the fact that they honored me by doing my song like that, I was just like incredible. And then when they asked us to perform it on, BET, that
Oh
was just
yeah,
off the chain, to see the reaction to people when I came out singing my version,
right.
they stood up. And it was like, oh my gosh, I was almost in the middle of crying. And I thought, no, not right now, later. It's always an honor when other people
Sure.
record your music. But I remember way back when I was getting royalties and these requests from this guy, Easy E. And he was recording all of my music. And I was saying to myself, who's Easy E? Who is Easy E? And finally I looked it up and I thought, oh, okay. And even a rapper was doing it back in the day.
Yeah,
He did Free, Cause You Love Me, Baby, a bunch of my songs.
yeah.
And it's always an honor. Will Smith covered one of my songs. Patti LaBelle covered one of my songs. It's just an honor when other people respect and love the music that you've done, and they do that.
That's yeah. That's always the test of time. Um,
Yeah.
I tell you what. Listen, if when you do your next gospel project, right? uh,
Yes.
get Monica on it. I always say, and
Yes.
I know you know this from being who you are, but I always tell people Monica has a gospel voice.
Oh, yes,
Really,
she does.
she
Yes, she
really
does.
has a gospel voice, and
Yeah. And I think we saw that on the BET Awards this time. She did a gospel song.
I saw, and then when she did the with James Fortune and Fred Hammond, when she did that, I said,
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
you got a gospel voice. So
Yep.
you is
Yeah.
a
She does.
and but and that it's a testament to you and the example that you have led for others. And the funny part about it is that you're not even doing anything extraordinary. You're just being yourself, being who you are, and putting out quality work, and people gravitate to it, and you never know who's looking at you,
You
until they
never.
come tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, I'm looking at
Yeah. That's true. That's true. That
you.
is true.
What what encourages and what inspires Deniece? It could be a thing or a person, whoever, but what what's your energy? What gets you going?
I think it's the fan and people who have let's just accepted me. It's accepted my music all over the world. I never ever thought that I would impact people the way I have through,
Mhm.
with my life and through the music. And that keeps me going because, so many times, especially in the past 2 years, I've told my sons,
Mhm.
that's it, time for me to retire. I'm not yodeling no more. I'm not singing another note. And my son said, Mom, you can't quit. And then I remember I went up to, I was at Delta Airlines out at the airport
Okay.
and helping in one of the customer service helping me with my ticket. And when she got finished, said, Miss Williams, somebody told me that you say that you're ready to retire. You can't retire. And I think it's things like that that keeps me going and saying, okay, you know what?
Okay.
I still sound pretty good. I don't have my 20-year-old voice, but when you listen to this new record, I still sound pretty good. I still think I look pretty good.
No, you
Um,
still look amazing.
thank you. Physically, my health wise, I'm good. I'm not struggling with any major anything. And
Okay.
so, you know, then I should keep going. If all of those things are intact, and I told God, as long as you keep me vocally healthy, physically
Sure.
healthy, emotionally stable, I can keep going. And so until any of those things change, then I keep going because I love talking to people like yourself. I love talking to the fans, and when they're saying
Thank you.
we can't wait to come out and see you in concert. We hope we see you in concert. And I can't wait to be with them either. So, those are the things that encourage me and keep me going forward.
Okay. Well, I tell you, I would love to have you back on, but when I bring you back on, I don't want you by yourself. I want to be able to bring you back on, pair you up, say like with Evelyn or Patrice Rushen.
Oh,
Uh,
my buddies, especially
yeah,
Miss Evelyn,
yeah.
we be hanging out. I'm talking to her husband all the time. So we
Who?
have to
Who
do
is that?
that. Evelyn's husband, her and
Yeah.
Freddie.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I'm talking
yeah.
to them all the time. We're texting all the time with each other. That's my girl. I love Evelyn. Yep, I
Yeah,
love.
she just like you. She was a joy. So I would love to, have an interview with both of you
Absolutely.
guys and see
Okay.
what it was like with both perspective. Um,
Yeah.
okay, we're gonna make this for 2021.
Okay.
My last question for you, what I wanted to know was, who was Deniece Williams in her 20s, and who is she now?
Oh my gosh, Deniece Williams in her 20 was a little girl. She was definitely a little girl. She was a child raised in the church who did not know nothing. And Deniece Williams today of course, is a mature woman who has lived a very full life. Who is there's still a little bit of innocence there because I
Hmm.
believe I want to see the best in people
Sure.
and see the best in every situation. But she's a grown woman now, and she don't take no mess.
You know what? I can tell that about you. I can tell you one of those very sweet, very nice. But then if you take your kindness for somebody trying to take your kindness for weakness, they're gonna see the other side. They're like, whoa, I ain't know Deniece was like, well, you shouldn't have crossed. You shouldn't have crossed her then. You should have stayed over here on the right side.
And I try to keep that woman down. I don't want her resurrected too many times. She's come out on a couple of occasions, and I had to go to my prayer closet and pray for myself. But yeah, my version of her now, I don't take any mess. I'm still very loving, still very kind, but I would tell you the truth, and I hope you can accept it and deal with it. But I
Hmm.
don't do it maliciously. But
Right.
when I was in my 20s, I never would do that, and I got teased like, you never want to say anything bad about it. And I never would do that. And I don't do it very often now, but if it calls for it, you
Right.
you will hear my side, because that's the great thing about growing up and getting
Yeah.
to a certain age. All of a sudden, you don't give a fart's butt about
Right. You
somebody.
start becoming comfortable. You start becoming comfortable in your own skin, and
That's right.
you
Yes.
know who you are. You know what you'll tolerate, what you won't tolerate.
Yes.
So yeah.
That's true.
And you did a wonderful job on Pastor Mike. I
Oh,
had to
thanks.
So now, hey, so now I can say, okay, I had Evelyn Champagne, she was on
That's
fast
right.
tonight. I got Deniece, she was on fast. Look at Otis doing.
Right. That's right. Otis is doing it, baby. He's holding up the mic.
At, at the end of the look, at the end of the day, it's about me. It's about.
Why not?
but but I appreciate you blessing us with your presence and giving me your time and sit down to be able to interview. Please stay safe out there and stay
You as
blessed
well.
like you
Yeah.
are. And I'm gonna work on this and trying to get you guys paired up to have you and Evelyn on together for 2021 and see if we can work that out. So thanks again to your publicist for hooking this
Yes.
up. So once again, we love you, bless you, and make sure you stay safe.
You do the same. Thank you so much. You stay safe. God bless you and have a great holiday.
You too. Bye
Okay.
bye.
Bye.